Yo, welcome guys. I have no clue if you can hear me. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna mess something up. Thank you guys for joining to the stream. Welcome everybody. Have no clue who's there, if they can hear me on another end of the stream, but I think whatever, I'll just still keep muted the microphone. I don't know when they're gonna come. I'll just wait. So yeah, I guess you can guess by the title what the video is gonna be. Thank you everybody who joined to the stream. Welcome Papa No Show, haven't seen you for years, for ages. What is up by gamers? Mario, Barbu, Ivo Panovsky. Everybody who joined here, Raki, Stevan, Silim, Lone Wolf, X-Gamer, Toxic Spitter, everybody here who joined here. So happy to see you. Waiting for others to join in. Can we hear... I'm pretty... sure we should be able to hear them pretty soon. But yeah, we're basically going to be discussing Last Day on Earth. I think I'm the first one who started speaking, not sure if they did. But yeah, for those who don't know them, I'm pretty sure everybody knows just JCF and StormCrown. Links are in the description. But I'm pretty sure you all know them, but if you don't know them, then yeah. It's so weird to be alone. They should join here. They're pretty... not late, but we just started the stream and I guess I was the first one who finished my intro. Yeah, so just waiting for them to join in. Sorry, busy life. It's fine, Papa No Show. Hope everything is alright there. Yeah, just... shitstorm about to happen, guys. We're just gonna destroy Last Day on Earth. But yeah. Do you know the way? Not really, but I hope there will be someone who will be able to show the way. It's so weird, like, it's like I have the habit of streaming alone, but when I have other people here, I just start stressing a lot, and I don't really know what to say, so... I might
unmute myself. Unless this is messing with Cairek.
I'm pretty sure you still can't hear me. Can you hear me?
So we're ready for them. I think you can hit the deafen button if he wants me to stop talking. Anyways, this is the first time we're doing it, so they're gonna be on here soon.
I'm here.
We'll hear them.
What's up? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yep, I did.
Alright. So
Yeah.
this is Cairek and Storm still doing his intro, and he'll get in here as soon as he's ready.
Yeah. Storm should be here soon. His intros are usually 2 minutes. There's the rock music playing on the intro.
Hey guys, can you hear me?
Yep. What's
Yes.
up?
All right, awesome. So we're all live, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Right, this is gonna be pretty crazy. Yeah, let's just hope that there's not too many questions all at once. You guys are welcome to ask questions on any stream, whoever's listening from whoever knows where. But you guys are welcome to ask any questions during the stream. And we'll answer some of the most interesting questions. There's also a couple topics that I personally want to talk about, and I'm sure you two also have a couple things that you want to talk about as well.
Yeah.
So, who wants to start out?
I don't know. Maybe you should start.
Alrighty, well, thanks for subbing ND Runner. I guess if I'm gonna start, I want to start off with some of the older things. I don't want to start with what's most recent. Should we start with Bunker Alpha?
Okay, hold on, guys.
Did you talk to us or your chat?
I'm trying to figure out why everything's delaying so much. I've got to
What do you mean?
got to repeat for
Problems.
everything that's being said.
Oh, you might have. Do you have like your speakers on or something?
No, I don't.
You mean the stream is delaying?
Are you listening to your stream at the same time? Is it echoing? Oh, sorry about that notification, guys.
Oh, there we go. I figured it out. I was putting. Can y'all talk now?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what it is. So I had HappyCairek stream up so I could see him, but it was playing the audio twice. So
Oh,
sorry about that.
Okay.
okie dokie. So yeah, and by the way, I'm Cyrek, not Cairek, but that's fine.
Oh,
it's
sorry.
cool.
Okay, sorry about that.
Nah, it's all cool and great. A lot of people, when they just hear my name, they just say Cairek. I sometimes wonder if I just should change from Cyrek to S letter, like Cyrek, like snake. Yeah.
Just change it to Happy Shrek. That'd be easiest.
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, so what were y'all saying the question was that y'all wanted? Or what y'all were wanting to talk about first?
Yeah, the bunker. Are you guys fine with talking about the bunker?
Okay.
Let's go.
Alrighty, well, I first want to start off. You guys remember the bunker used to be very different to how it is now. It even had the chopper in it as well. We only had that one floor, nothing too special. But basically, they changed the entire bunker. It was no longer about sneaking around and being efficient overall. It was changed to just killing the most zombies for coupons. And that changed a lot of things, and it was understandable because so many people who did play cleverly and efficiently, they saved up so many guns and they were stockpiling their chests. But I don't think that was the answer to fix the bunker, because changing it like that, it's harder for newer players to start out, and it just makes the bunker feel like just some random activity where you're just gunning down zombies instead of being smart and you actually feel like you're achieving something, especially where at the very end of the bunker you get all the loot instead of just killing a few zombies to guarantee your loot with coupons. Do you guys agree with that?
Yep.
Yeah, I think that, I think that it's hard to tell. I think we would have gotten tired of the bunker either way. It's hard to know whether or not, but I do agree with you to a degree. If you're working on trying to create a out, so when we're dodging giants and having them come, there was a little bit of a strategy to it. I think that would get boring less quickly, and so I would agree. I just don't know. They need something that we spend our resources on. And I think that they were hoping it was going to be Bunker Alpha. And even in the new Bunker Alpha, we don't spend our resources on it on easy mode. And so they created hard mode. And they keep doing this, like something with it is it's just repetitive. Whereas in Jurassic Survival, which, I still like Last Day on Earth more than Jurassic Survival, but they have these dinosaur monuments, and those dinosaur monuments, you work on getting you have to spend a lot of resources to hunt these dinosaurs, but then it's permanent. You get a permanent buff, and it's more of a fun way to use your resources, and you can accomplish this crazy task, and you feel better about this. And I think Last Day on Earth needs something like that. I just don't know if Bunker Alpha is the solution they were going for.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, you can say something.
I didn't play the game before the Alpha Bunker was old. I jumped in the game when they introduced the new Alpha Bunker. But like, I've always been thinking that they should just randomize players in Alpha Bunker. Like, all the, for example, enemies from the second floor, they should just be randomized like that. It would be maybe more interesting to do Alpha Bunker like that. All the strategies would disappear and you would use more of your guns, and it would be just more fun. Like when you open that door, in the beginning, for the second floor, there's like, I don't know, like 10 or whatever roaming zombies, and just usually people use Skull Crusher to destroy them. But like, if you open that door and you don't know what zombie is gonna be in front of you, it might be just Frenzy Giant or whatever, it would be just more exciting. It still would be the same number of zombies, it's just they would be randomized and scattered around the different places, you know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
That would maybe fix something, but
I think that they've had a lack of content for a long time, and I remember about 5 months back They used to do updates almost every week, and then they upgraded their dev team, and that was the very first time they started skipping weekly updates. They said that they were training new staff, and so I pretty much expected that they would put more content out or bigger updates from there on, because they were already progressing quite quickly, but they needed to progress a bit faster and get all the other bunkers out, and get the other bunkers designed so that there's more for us to do. And so they did bring the second floor to the bunker soon after that, but we haven't had a new floor, and I don't really think the lobby floor counts. That was just to introduce the coupon system. But we've had the second floor for 4 months now, or has it been a little bit longer? It's just that it does get repetitive, as what you were saying, Freza, that if it involved more strategy and skill, it would still get boring, without doubt. But I think that the main problem was they weren't really putting much content out for what they should have been doing, especially when they said that they expanded upon their dev team to be able to put more content out. And I mean, it's been how many months? We still don't have a new floor. So
yeah.
It's like they're just forgot what I wanted to say. Nice.
Well, Partisan just asked a question for us of whether or not we're going to keep doing content for Last Day on Earth, even if I'm out this year. Thought that was a good question.
For me, it's just like...
Sorry, say that again.
He was asked, Last Day on Earth, if Kafir does not come out with multiplayer this year in 2018, are we, he asked a question for all three of us, are we going to keep doing content for the game?
I'm personally stopping really soon, but when multiplayer comes out, I'll reconsider doing it again. And multiplayer is a big topic that I do want to cover in this stream. But go ahead, Cairek.
Yeah, it's like all of you started playing the game when it just came out, and you played it way longer than me, and I don't know for how many months I've played it, but like I started playing it when they already introduced like the coupons. I think I started playing it in a week after they introduced these coupons. So I'm not pretty new to the game, but you're older in the game than me, and I'm already bored of this game, already bored of waiting for multiplayer. So I just imagine how all those people who started the game when it just came out, how you feel. It's like, it's just crazy. It feels like a huge like scummy game that is like multiplayer is never gonna come out. That's like what my feeling is about, because like in real we've never seen any new any even multiplayer sneak peeks. Like all we get in this game, like we're not even getting closer to multiplayer. There's not even a slightest clue of how multiplayer can be. Like now we got these rating things, but it's still AI. There is not even a connection with multiplayer. Like this game uses connection, but like how they answer it uses the connection so that they can determine the server loads. So when it's gonna come out with multiplayer, and
I might disagree with that actually. I feel like I could be wrong, but I think that Kafir is. So one of the problems that they've had, and I when we first joined the game, I thought, how are they going to do this? If they can't just create, it would be very difficult to make it fair in any way if they just created a random map where people's bases were spread out, and some people were next to Bunker Alpha, some people were next to Bunker Zulu.
Yeah.
They're just very different places, and then you sit your base right next to a clan, and that clan base is just gonna wipe you off the face of the earth. And so the new rating system is designed to test out for how to make it to where clans, you raid someone, there's footsteps, you can do a revenge attack, or
Yes.
And so I think they are working towards multiplayer. I think it is closer. Yep. I think that if it didn't happen this year, I don't know what I would do. A year's a long time. I've only been YouTubing for 5-6 months, and so my thought is I'm definitely sticking with Last Day on Earth for a while, because it was the birth of my channel. And so I'll probably keep doing hidden changes updates, and if there's a really big update, I'll make maybe a video. But I'm starting to move on to a few other games to try to. I'm actually finding more fun right now, and so I'm not gonna quit. But if they go a whole year, if it's 2019, and I'm growing in other games, then I might quit. It's hard to tell in a year.
It's like, maybe I expressed myself bad. It's not like I try to say that this Raider update, like, we don't get closer to multiplayer. Like, what I try to say is that there is, like, no multiplayer connection in the game, except, like, that rating thing that we got. It's like they're trying to test out new things, but, like, just try to imagine they're trying to add multiplayer, but they're still testing out a lot of things. So just, I imagine how they're working on that multiplayer with the... I don't really know how many... how big is their dev team, but like it's not like 2 people. We've seen their stream. There's a lot of people, and
between
it's like
30 and 40,
yeah. So like with that many people, I imagine that the game should progress faster. Plus, it's a mobile game, and they're just now Raiders came out, which should have been out like long ago, and they're still like trying that out. So in real, they didn't really try out a lot of stuff for multiplayer. So I don't even know when multiplayer is gonna come out. So
Yeah,
just because of how slow it's moving, that's what I try to say.
Doomers just made a comment about it. You know, it was like 1.4 was a big update. 1.5 was the biggest update we'd seen. 1.6 was the new biggest update we'd ever seen. And then all of a sudden 1.7 was like, it looked lame. It looked like kind of a lame update. And my hope, and this may be optimistic, but my hope is that is because they've been putting more work on multiplayer. It would make sense as a company release multiplayer early in the year because it would look better in Google reviews.
Yeah.
Anything between when the Google gave them those awards, they kind of stopped. And they waited 1.7 until after as soon as the new year. And I'm maybe I'm being optimistic, but I'm hoping that they're going to come out with multiplayer within the next month or two. And if they don't, technical difficulties, I have trouble believing they're not trying. You know, they got a lot of money coming in.
Yeah.
They know I think they know the stakes of they need to get multiplayer soon, and I'm optimistic that they will. So we'll see.
Yeah, and plus with the current, just quickly, just with the current game status, like it's hard to get like newcomers to the game because this game is pretty hardcore, and if you didn't play it from the beginning, it's actually hard to get involved in this game. So, and if they don't release multiplayer soon, they will start losing these old players, and when it's hard to get new players in the game, this game is just gonna fail. They really have to rush their multiplayer, not like rush, but work faster on that.
Yeah, I'd say the biggest problem overall that I've noticed on like almost every update they do for a long time, the biggest problem they've had is the lack of communication. Of course, they'll like show a sneak peek every now and then, or they'll drop their favorite phrase saying this and this is coming soon, and then we wait a couple months. But basically, the lack of communication has been the biggest problem on their side because they're not saying what they're working on. And especially with their size and the fact that they should be producing a lot of content, it's fine to say, hey, we made this and this, but we felt this isn't going to go into the game, but this is what we did do. Or here's a small sneak peek of what we're working on. They do that, but rarely. And then when we see that sneak peek, it only comes out months and months later, which does, like, most people stop playing before that even comes. And it's just new players that then end up experiencing that. It's just the slow progress and the lack of communication, I'd say, are the biggest problems that they've had. Even though many would say that it is the pay to play or all the market stuff that they're doing. That is understandable on a business perspective, even though they might be a bit scummy about it. It's not it's not that big of a problem in comparison to the other 2 points.
I think you're right, and that's actually one of the things I wanted to talk about in this. I am appalled. Honestly, I always try to speak Kafir and kind of assume the best, but I just don't understand why when tens of thousands of players lose their accounts, they didn't act immediately. I mean, most games would do an immediate server rollback.
Yes.
I mean,
Yeah.
as soon as they found out about it, they would just, you roll back everyone 3 hours. If it caused someone problems, you throw out some gifts, you help people out, but you act immediately. And problem, they haven't even acknowledged it, right?
Yeah.
And have they acknowledged it yet?
I
They
don't think so.
like they've
I check my
rolled
Twitter every day.
they rolled an
Seen it.
apology, I guess. Like, I did not read it completely. Maybe I did, but whatever. They said they did like some sort of an apology, but like today, I guess, a couple of hours ago. And it's not really like big of an apology. They say we'll try to fix something, like blah blah blah. Like, sorry for inconveniences. And it's like, what your thing about that was like, at that time I was at work and I checked Discord and everybody's like, wow, I lost my account. Like, all people are going crazy, and I see that it's a huge problem. I checked Twitter, I checked like Russian websites and everything. There's like nothing, zero things of them saying like, oh, we're working on it. Like, seriously, nothing. Like, we could have.
Some people say they responded now, but they didn't for like 4 days or however long it's been. So now, I mean, days went by.
I mean,
with no acknowledgement.
Yeah,
it's just crazy.
I understand that they don't work like Saturday and Sunday, because I guess like that, because they usually never respond to any comments like in Saturday, Sunday. So I don't think they work these 2 days, but they could have done something on Friday.
Yeah.
And plus, it's
someone
like
in my chat said, oh, sorry, yeah.
And plus, it's their game, like it's their business. Like, even if it's business, and plus when something like that happens, I think you can work even on Saturday and Sunday, like to just do a rollback. I don't think it's like super crazy to do a rollback. I'm not a game developer, so I don't know, but yeah.
Someone in my chat said, you have to pay $1,000 for update 1.7.3 to get access to it. But yeah, it does remind me of the latest thing they did in the market with those walls, and that was a bit over the top.
So yeah, so what is your opinion?
$100 for those walls.
So what's your opinion basically about walls? Like, do you agree that they added that, or you don't want it? Like, whatever. Is it pay to win, that object, like basically the walls?
It's nothing's pay to win yet, because there's no multiplayer. You're not getting advantages over other players because it's a single player game right now. It's mostly just pay to play the game and pay to progress faster. But the biggest problem was when they changed the level 3 walls. I know I've said this a lot, but changing the level 3 walls to basically make it like an hour grind or more just to get one level 3 wall was a bit much. Especially for those who don't even have a chopper. So people who don't have a chopper, there's tons of players out there that don't. They can't even do that, and no one's going to go to red zones to farm those 2 oak trees and then just keep doing that and that over and over again, because it's just going to take way too long. It's just an unrealistic expectation, because now with raiders, most people want to do that. Most people want to try out the raiders, and level 3 walls should be the norm right now for most people who've been playing for a long time. But it isn't, because they changed those resource requirements for the level 3 walls. And I don't even want to get started on the metal walls, because that requirement is just, it's beyond insane. But the level 3 walls are still a very big problem in the game. But now that they went and made it, they implemented it into the market, was a very big mistake on their part, because most people want this changed, especially the metal rooms, and their change is here, pay $100 for just a small room, and that's absurd, because why would someone pay $100 for a couple metal walls and just a random mobile game that's not complete, when you could put that towards something that you actually need, you know?
See, I don't have a problem that it costs a lot. If it's $100 for that much metal room, that's fine.
Right.
I actually, and this may just be my opinion, but when pay to win, if you create some content that can be bought, in order to make your game not pay to win, there has to be an achievable a way to achieve that same thing outside of that.
Yeah.
To where it's like, oh, okay, I could spend a week grinding, or I could pay $100. And so I would choose to do a week of grinding, and I would feel good. And the person that spends $100, I judge them. I say, oh, they're one of those people, you know, and I'm not one of those people. And I'm happy, they're happy. They can somehow tell themselves that they did amazing because they spent money. I can tell myself that I'm amazing because I worked hard, and we play the same game. But when they say, here, spend $100, and someone like StarSnipe just is like, sure, $100 for 1,500 hours worth of work, great. And so he's got this amazing base, and I'm like, I can't compete with that. I can't give 1,500 hours of my time to compete with that. So I have to spend $100, or I just have a less amazing base, and that stinks, you know?
Yeah, I totally agree. That's what I was thinking. If it's like, and people were like complaining that it's too expensive. Like in the chat, people said like it needs to be $50 or like whatever. But like the cheaper it is, like the more not worth it it is. Like I consider not like pay to win games, but if you donate in the game, if you put money in the game, you should actually just speed up the game progress. Just like Forza said, for example, someone's grinding for a week, and you like spend like a couple of bucks, like whatever, and you just reach that person, but you shouldn't be able to get something that a free-to-play person can't get. And with those metal walls that you spend for 115 euros, like $100, it's like a free-to-play person can't really get that like in whatever other time. Like I don't imagine how many hours you have to grind. Like you said, 1,500 hours.
Yeah, that's what I mean, it was a rough calculation, but I think it's about 1,500 hours to grind that many.
So yeah, but like
walls.
if you divide that for days, like how much time you have to grind, it's crazy. Plus the resources, you will have to refill on resources, like whatever, it's like crazy. You can't even get that many walls. It's like you basically pay per one wall like $5, like I don't know, because you get like 12 walls and 9 floors, I guess, whatever. So it's like basically $5 for one wall, which is like really not that expensive when you think of how much hard work you have to put in. It's crazy, because like I understand that from business perspective, of course they're gonna cash in a lot of that because it's like 100 euros. It's like boom boom, a lot of people are gonna buy that. But like from the perspective of game, of how actually people are gonna treat this game, if it's scammy or not scammy, it's definitely totally scammy, but they're just gonna cash in that.
Yeah, and I think you're exactly right. And the truth is, and I just want to clarify, I think StarSnipe was smart to buy it. That was a smart move. It is, if you're gonna spend that much money on a game, if that's your budget,
it has to be something good.
It's smart. I mean, it's a great purchase. It's the best purchase out there on the store right now. Spend $100 for 1,500 hours. If it was my budget, that would be the thing I'd buy. But my budget's like $10 a month on a game, and so YouTubing now, so I make money. So it's just, you know.
Yeah, it's like, and that's like so annoying. Like I don't even touch the safe yet, but they roll out like this update, and it costs a lot. Like these walls, they cost a lot. But when you think about it, they're not expensive. They're like in real life really cheap for what you get. Like, because I watched the video and you said it's like basically 7 cents per hour of gameplay. So like, if I'm not mistaken, so it's like crazy for what you get for that money, and it's like in a way pissing me off, because like they're seriously gonna get a lot of money from that, but it's expensive and it's not expensive, and plus it's just a bad thing in the game. Like you shouldn't sell that for that much, for that price. Like it's crazy. It shouldn't exist in the game.
Yeah, the problem is the majority of all players won't be able to do that, and it's a very bad deal for almost everyone.
Yeah,
because no one really needs that.
Yeah, but it's if they just changed it, like for example, they wouldn't sell it like basically like a 3-on-3 room, but if they would sell like these walls separately, I think more people would be able to buy, because after all, $100, not everyone can spend $100, but if it's like $10, for example, $5 for one wall, more people are gonna buy that, you know. They're not gonna buy maybe like 10 of them at the same time, but they're gonna buy one wall, 2 walls. So it's like less like pay to win, because not everybody has $100. So like someone has $100, like boom, they're gonna buy that. Who doesn't have 100, they can't buy it. But for example, I have $10, so I can't put anything for $10. It's either everything or nothing. Like, you know what I'm trying to say?
Yes.
It's like when you add an app purchase, you should like add more options for what to buy, not like only like this. Oh, like pay $100 or you get nothing. It's crazy. It would be more fair if they added more, like if you could buy like separate single walls, like one wall like for $5, but it still would be like not expensive for $5 for one wall, for one iron wall. You'll have to grind for that, but it's expensive and people would buy more, and it would be just a little bit more fair. But I still don't think like stuff like that should exist in the game.
Yeah. So I just want to go a little bit back to multiplayer again, and discuss that, because that's obviously the biggest thing of the game. Everyone's been wanting multiplayer ever since the game released, but I'd say it's quite a big problem to introduce multiplayer at this point, because the game has so little content for what it should already have that multiplayer could almost be pointless right now, because the game should have multiple bunkers already and multiple vehicles to use. There should also be a lot more locations and an open map to explore. If they just introduced multiplayer with like this raider system, it would be very I can't think of the word right now, but it's not what people are expecting after waiting like 7 months. It's a bit of a disappointment, and people have been expecting it to be a much bigger project, especially since the developers said clans are going to be in the game, and that there's also going to be the chat system as well. And there's actually a pretty scummy move on their part by putting that into the Google Play Store, because that's what brought me into the game personally, and I'm sure it brought most players into the game because of the fact that there's clans, multiplayer, all this stuff in a game like that. It's crazy. Like, it's innovation, and most people want to try that out.
If you search on the Google Play Store, MMO, Stay on Earth is one of the ones that comes up towards the top.
Yeah, I've got two screenshots that I want to talk about over here. I'm putting it up on my stream.
Okay.
I'm going to talk about two different things that they say in the Google Play Store description for their game, and this hasn't changed since it came out 7 months ago. This one here says, join a clan and gunship zombies with friends. So basically you can shoot zombies. I'm not going to say the whole thing because there's just a lot of clickbait words in here, but you can shoot the game with you can shoot zombies with other survivors. It's an effective war strategy to do that with other survivors in this RPG strategy game. And they also say it's easier to survive together and with other survivors. So you must join clans and gunship zombies as much as you can. So people go in expecting this, but they can't do it. And another thing that makes people think that would be the chat as well.
Yeah.
And the chat it's there, but
yeah,
and when you click on it, it doesn't say this isn't in the game yet. It says, oh, you have to build a radio tower.
And there's still many players.
The funny thing is, the funny thing is, on the Google Play Store, they say, they also say, communicate with other players, use the chat, in quote, use the chat. Information is the second most important resource in this game, and they say join clans again, and or go to raid, clear new territories, and all this new stuff. But none of those features are here yet, even after 7 months when they said it was in the game.
Yeah.
So.
Yep.
And it's like.
And go ahead.
It's like that's what got me in the game. When you go there, it's like says, oh, click on that chat, and I'm like, oh, I will be able to build that radio tower. And those people who just get the game, they don't really watch any YouTube videos, they don't read like forums, they're not on Facebook, they have no clue what's in the game and what's not in the game, because it doesn't say what is in the game, what's not in the game. Like it's like
still working for that radio tower.
Yeah, and they put the chopper like at level 6. You can unlock chopper at level 6, and it's so clickbaity. It's like, oh, you build the chopper and you actually think you can build it, and then you see what parts you needed, and I'm like, okay, I'll get it. Plus you get like one engine part from the when you rate the base. So you like think, oh, the engine parts are pretty common, and you just keep grinding and grinding, and unless you go on Facebook and you realize that like half of the population don't even have the chopper gas tank, they don't have the chopper, even if you unlock it at level 6. And like there are still so many items that you can't unlock yet, and like the new players have no clue if it's in the game or if it's not in the game.
Yeah.
So you know, I think that one thing that y'all were kind of talking about, important to define what is clickbait or what is download bait. And you know, people will be like, you know, it's a very subjective concept. You know, I said that some of the Last Day on Earth YouTubers are clickbaity, and I got a lot of flack for that. And I think that it really depends on how you define it, because I define it as basically when you watch a video for a certain reason, and then you finish watching that video, if you don't leave feeling understood for whatever reason, if you went in there for information and then you left without the information you needed, clickbait. But that, some people wouldn't call that clickbait. They would say
That's
that if
misleading.
you say I'm building AV and he is building the ATV, he's putting some bolts in there and he's putting some, you know, some cloth in there or whatever it is, some fabric, you know, then they're like, oh, well, he was building it, so that's not clickbait. And I'm like, well, I actually think that is clickbait. But then again, extreme, you could say that my most successful video, the one about, you know, how to join a clan before multiplayer, I made how to join a clan versus the before multiplayer is a little bit smaller, and so some people call that clickbait, and they might have a point. I was trying to get more people to watch the video, and I tried, you know, because of my definition of clickbait, I tried to educate them that multiplayer didn't actually exist, but vague lines. So some people that have a very liberal view of clickbait can be like, oh no, you know, Star Snipes doesn't do clickbait. And from their definition of clickbait, they're right. But from someone who has a stricter view, they could pin almost anyone, you know, any good YouTuber, anyone who knows how to work the system, the YouTube system, for clickbait in some sense. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Like my view of clickbait is like, if you clickbait, but if you give a viewer something that he didn't know, or like you made them laugh, or he enjoyed the video, it's fine clickbait. Like even if it's a little bit clickbait, you know what I'm trying to say?
Mm-hmm.
It's like if you teach him something new, if you show him something that he didn't know, then it's fine clickbait. It's not super bad. But if you just like, you know what is horrible clickbait and what is fine clickbait.
Yeah, if you're baiting viewers to watch a video, but for a purpose other than just getting views and exposure, that, like if you're doing it to get a certain point across, or to just do it for fun and for laughs, then that's generally considered okay. But when you're just doing it for self-gain or out of selfishness, then that is generally the bad form of clickbait. But clickbait has so many different definitions nowadays that it's hard to even say what clickbait truly is in just a single sentence.
I mean, in a
But
real
the clickbait that the devs used is misleading, because they don't say that this is coming or that it's a beta or it's work in progress. They advertise the whole game as though this is what it has and this is what you will be able to do, or this is what you must do. And that's the clickbait problem over there.
Well, and it goes back to that, because that's what I'm saying. I'm not trying to say that, and you know, I'm not trying to say that Star Snipes doing things wrong. He's a very clever YouTuber, and honestly, 500,000 people like what he has. And so I'm actually not saying that he's doing anything wrong. I'm just trying to define terms, and he can do what he wants, and people can watch. I actually disagree with the people that kind of hate on it, because he's making a lot of money. It's his living. This isn't my living. This is my hobby. And so I have the freedom of not of doing what I want to do in my style, and he does it in his style. Well, so then you get into Last Day on Earth, and this is kind of the point that I'm trying to make. Kefir is want they can bait people into watching it, and then they guys under the beta. Oh, game is in beta, so I can say that it has certain things, but it doesn't because it's in beta, and you should have known that. It's in beta. It's not a full game yet, and I've been like, you know what? That's a good point. I can't wait till the actual game is released. You know, how many months does it go by before we decide? I'll wait until it's not a beta, and that should be our choice. And I think a lot of players feel like they're being disloyal to Last Day on Earth by leaving, but I don't think they are. I think, well, if you want to wait until it's not a full game, if you didn't really want to sign up to play a beta and you want to play a real game, then it's a real game, and then it's hard. I don't know. Anyways, sorry, I'm talking too much.
It's fine. But basically, it's also a big problem that they have done that, and most people come to the game and then they want to stick with it because they want to see these features come to the game. Because normally, when a game comes out and it doesn't have all the features, you want to be able to say, I was here when the game was still being made. I was here before these features were in the game. But the problem is that they haven't implemented any of those features in 7 months, and the thing is, like, at what point, how many players, how much income do you need to be able to start working very hard to get those things in? Because they've got like 75 million players now. That's a lot, and like at that point, that's like Supercell gets that amount. It's crazy, and Supercell at least puts out the stuff that the games need. But when a beta has been out this long and none of those things have come out, it's a bit too much. They aren't really putting the amount of effort that they should put in, or at least that's what it seems like, because they aren't communicating that. So
I think that goes back to StormCrown's point about the biggest problem is actually just the communication. The fact that they won't tell us when it's going to happen. They're just like, wait, can you just tell us a little bit more so we can have expectations? Yeah.
So
yes,
basically, like, I do know Russian, so I can read Russian Q&As, like, and they're a little bit different. And basically, even those Q&As are clickbaited. Like they say, oh, we're gonna implement dog, like blah blah. We know what the dog is gonna be about, and then like a couple of Q&As after in Russian Q&A, like somebody asked, or even it was in English, I don't remember. Like somebody asked, like, when you're gonna implement dogs, and they say like, we don't know how the dog's purpose is gonna be. Like, we have ideas, but we didn't try anything yet. So like, dogs are not coming soon. But like a couple of Q&As ago, you said that dogs like are gonna be there, we're gonna add dogs, we're gonna get a lot of pets, but they don't even have a clue what's the purpose of dog is gonna be. So then it got me thinking, like, a lot of the stuff that they're showing us, it's just their ideas, their thoughts, and like it just feels like they're really working slow on the game. It's like, because of what they showed to us, we almost don't see half of the stuff that they showed. Like, they showed the saw blade, like the... You know the thing with the save that they showed, like the saw blade? I don't know, the saw mace? No. I think it's the saw blade. We still didn't get it. Then the beer, they showed the beer, like, long ago. We still didn't see any beer. Plus, they said it's coming, like, soon or something. Or whatever. We still didn't get the beer. And about the fishing, they spoke so much about fishing in Q&As, like I think in 2 or 3 in a row Q&As, they were answering stuff about fishing. And there's still not even slightest clue about fishing, except that little fishing thing next to the radio tower. So they just show a lot of stuff, and they don't even implement a lot of stuff. And then again, you know that they showed the necrotic hybrid or whatever? Like, long ago they showed one huge zombie and whatever, and they said like, it's coming soon. And then they stayed quiet about it, and after a couple of months they answered like in Q&A that, oh, we decided that we're not gonna release like that necrotic hybrid because it's not a good time for him. But they literally said that they're gonna release him soon, so it got me thinking that again, whatever they say, even in their Q&As, like whatever they have in their head, it's not 100% guaranteed about what they show. Because when the game came out, they were spoiling a lot about water locations, and still no water locations. So whatever they show is not even gonna come out in the game, because they're not even sure what they want to put in the game. It's like basically this game is gonna go into direction. It's either we're gonna get like multiplayer really soon, it's gonna be super great just because they worked so much on multiplayer, or it's just gonna keep going like it goes right now. Because they have to work on something.
Yes.
Because all that time that they do, they have to work on something. It's not like I do hope, I believe in them, but really skeptical. But like I do hope that they're working on multiplayer just like how they say. So maybe we don't see a lot of updates just because they're working so hard on multiplayer, and when it's gonna come out, like we're gonna just like boom, wow, you actually made it. But
So yeah, basically, someone in my chat, Sushi, he says that we're forgetting about co-op, and yes, I totally forgot about that. That is the multiplayer that we've mostly been expecting first.
yeah.
Co-op has been wanted for a long time, and they've been teasing it. They've also, I'm pretty sure, as far as I remember, they said that co-op is coming soon. I could be wrong, but they've been hinting towards it for a long time, but not really recently. Now they're just doing their own thing. But co-op has been a highly requested feature and a highly talked about feature for a long time, and most people have prepared for it. That's what most people want. They just want to play with their friends at the very least. Most people, like, if multiplayer is not there, that's fine. We can wait for that. But co-op is actually more important. And I'm sorry, I forgot about that. But it's just been so long since co-op last came to my mind. And like you said, Cairek, they've been holding a lot of things back. They'll show something like the necrotic hybrid, but they hold that back. The necrotic hybrid, which I have on my screen right now, is basically, I've even seen animations of it, which is very, very old footage, by the way. And basically, the necrotic hybrid is probably going to be used as a boss. They wanted to add it in for one specific thing, probably in the bunker, because that's where we saw it. But when they still haven't implemented it, obviously they're trying to put it somewhere else, like a big boss, kind of like the blind one right now. And maybe we might only see that in a couple months before, for all we know, or it's being saved for another bunker. And the thing is, like, sure, you showed that to us, but then, like, if that's only going to come out 8 months later after you've shown it to us, we're left with nothing, instead of, actually knowing what's going to be coming soon. So they said that's coming soon, but it still hasn't arrived. And there's a lot of things like that haven't arrived, and co-op being one of those big things too. So what are your opinions on?
Like, sorry to cut off, and just Next Levy said really cool like comment, like Next Levy says, wasn't the female character supposed to come out soon? They really teased a lot of female characters. They gave like animation, and it didn't come out, like nothing.
Yeah, that was one of my questions to Veronica. I asked, I was like, when I said that we have some connection to her, I can talk to her. A lot of people gave a bunch of questions, and I gave her the top 6. I was like, okay, here are the top 6 that I can't answer. And one of them is, when is the female character coming? And I was like, to me, it sounds like pets aren't coming yet. It sounds like y'all have made that clear that pets aren't coming anytime soon. But y'all did make it sound like, sounds like the female character's coming in 1.7. And she responded, but she didn't give any extra information. She didn't say, oh yeah, there was a delay on there. There was this, and that's part of the issue. I think that personally, I don't think it's actually that slow. I think that able to accomplish a lot. Hard task. And so if they're working a lot on multiplayer like they say they are, I don't know if that's really that big of a deal that they're going slow. The problem is when they say they're going to do something and then there's a technical difficulty, which always happens. That happens. Like I said, I was going to build this website, and we're having so much. It's at least another week out before it comes out, and so communicating that. And I actually probably should do a better job of communicating that in my main videos, but at least in my live streams, I've been communicating. Oh, another technical difficulty. Oh, family got sick. You know, these things are happening, whereas Kefir doesn't. And when they finally do come out, they make it kind of seem like this is when we said it was going to happen. Like, oh,
yeah. And sometimes sorry, like, and sometimes they say, like, not about technical difficulties, they say like, oh, it's some programming stuff that we can do, blah 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 blah. But I'm pretty sure it's more than that. You can actually explain something more to, like, why it doesn't come out. Like, just like you said, it's like you're totally right about the point that they just don't explain us why the stuff that they teased us doesn't come out. It's a really great point.
Yeah. So do you guys have anything specific that you want to cover apart from the topics we've already spoken about? Because I've got some small topics, but they aren't as relevant. If you guys have anything you guys want to talk about specifically.
I can talk about the save quickly that they added in the shop, because I do think that it's like, there's no multiplayer, so like I said, it's not pay to win, but like you can't implement things that you can't get in the game. I'm fine for that military crate that has like 45 slots. It's like, it's whatever, we have trunks even if they're small, but like whatever. But like safes, you can't even build them, but you implement them in the game just to cash in. Like, this is so wrong, and like, wow. Like, do you agree on that? That you shouldn't add safe? Well, it's not in the game and you can buy it, and it's not, you can't actually protect your stuff now in the game except the safe. And people can buy safe and protect their stuff, and you can't craft safe. Like, this is the pay to win thing that is bad.
You know, I wouldn't agree as much on that, mainly because I feel like the safe sucks. It only has 5 slots, and it's up a spot in your base, and with the sound system, now they could change the sound system in the future, but currently with the sound system, someone can only get so far in your base, and if there's a limit to how far someone can break into your base, then because what it does, if someone's limited on how far they can break into your base, then it's really more about walls than it is about safe. I think the safe is a gimmick. I don't think the safe really is worth it unless you want to have some storage on the outer part of your base. You just need to build a lot of level 2 walls currently, because level 3 walls are so hard to get.
Yeah.
And if you've got, I mean, right now, if you have 4 level 3 walls or 4 level 2 walls in between your stuff is safe. You don't need a safe. Yeah, so that is not as pay to win, at least in my opinion. Yeah, personally, I would rather get a trunk.
Yeah, I do agree that the safe is like crappy. Like the idea, just that there is only 5 slots, it's crappy. Like, what I'm just trying to say, that they shouldn't add objects that you can't craft and you have to pay money for that object. Yeah, I do agree, but I do agree that safes are crap.
And on that note, when they add some things to the game, or they change stats of something in the game, kind of like the level 3 walls or the chopper gas tank, the problem is they, instead of fixing the issue, they end up capitalizing on the issue by making it, hey, we heard you guys were having a problem with this. Here, you can buy it in the market, and yeah. I don't think that's the best answer to those kinds of problems that almost all players are experiencing, because that no one really wants to spend money to get those things when it should be obtainable already. People would rather support the game just to speed up their progression, but not to unlock things, you know? So it feels like there's a constant paywall for most players, and it shouldn't feel that way, especially when this game is not even complete yet. And it's, even though it's been 7 months and the game's still beta, they should not be putting semi-paywalls for items that are technically being tested, because it's the beta. You don't make things hard to get, or you don't make people pay for something if this is just a test, because like that's not how betas work, and that's also a big problem that I haven't spoken about yet. So what are your opinions on that? Can you guys hear me?
Yes, I can.
Yes, I can hear you.
I
So
do
you
agree.
were asking what?
Basically, they, instead of making the things easier to obtain or obtainable like for a reasonable amount of time put in, they pretty much make it a paywall, or you just need to get incredibly lucky, or you just need to spend a ton of time just to get these things. And this is just a beta. So it's technically a test. Why would they charge us to get these things? Because they technically are when most players don't have those things.
Yeah, that's totally true. Like, I don't even know what can I add to that, because everything you said is true. Like, it's game in beta and they're like charging so much money for that, where you can't even craft these with having a normal life. You can't get most of the items in the game, like level 4 walls, but well, you can buy them. If you can't craft them, you can always buy them, and it's a beta game. Like, everything you said, like, I just repeat the stuff.
Yeah, I think that I personally, I think they went all wrong about it on their their in-app purchases.
Yeah.
I feel like many of it that made it just way too hard. I don't know if it's redeemable. I think that they just need to do level 3 walls back to normal, and then they need to do level 4 walls 3 or 4 times more difficult than a level 3 wall, the old level 3 wall. And if they did that, then progression that we all liked about, you know, building walls, it would make it achievable. It would be hard, but it'd still be achievable. And there's a lot of ways to fix that. I mean, they can fix it where, for example, to make a steel plate doesn't cost an entire forest every time you make 1 or 2 steel plates, you know. And those type of things, make it just a little bit easier here, a little bit easier there. They could make it to build level 4 walls, and then, you know, there's for a 1x1 square thing, but then where you can buy those things with either coins that people can earn, or like create some kind of pay, you know, free to play option. Does it to where you're not creating two classes, the pay to win and the free to play, and they're nowhere together. You have to create a game where the free to play can work harder than the pay to win to match them. And then if you got a pay to win who also works hard, he's going to beat everyone. But that's just how those games work. You can limit that sometimes by putting limits on certain things, but ultimately, the ideal of any game is, otherwise you're going to lose all your free to play. They're just going to leave because they're frustrated that they can't compete. They're in a different class than the rest of them. So
yeah. And I didn't play like a lot of multiplayer games, but I did play Clash Royale, and I played a couple of other multiplayer games. And in all those games, you can actually get the game currency, like every day you can get some coins, like, or whatever. Let's say in Clash Royale it's gems. You can get like some amount of gems every day. And in in Last Day on Earth, you can't get these coins. Like, they added like this mystery unknown box, but and it wasn't there before. So the only way to get coins, you can just buy them, but there's no other way of how to obtain them for free-to-play player, and that's bad, because in every other multiplayer, like in any other online game where you can donate in the game, usually free-to-play players have a chance to get at least some amount of these coins, like per day, let's say 5 coins, 10 coins, whatever. And you know what I'm trying to say.
Yes. I just want to go back to what Faraz said earlier about the progression not seeming that slow. And sure, overall, like, it's understandable the current rate of progression. It's not too slow, but the thing is, they are in fact progressing slower than they should,
Yeah.
especially with the topic we just spoke about. By separating the pay-to-win players and the free-to-play, whereas the free-to-play is generally the largest portion of the player base. So if basically you want to test something and this game is a beta, you don't want to make it so hard for people to get something when you want to know if
Yeah.
that's a good feature or not. And you're delaying your responses for a beta, and it just doesn't make sense. So that's why most people think it's progressing so slowly overall, is because it's progressing slower than it should be, far slower as a matter of fact, because most players either stop because they don't even want to do it at all, and those who do and who dedicate, it takes them so long to finally get those features that when they give their response for how they feel about that feature once they've received it or unlocked it, by then it's already delayed development, and that's something that the developers should really think about.
Yeah, that's really true. Like, they're adding things, it's really hard to obtain, and they can't test that out because most of the normal people can't even get those things. Like, that's just
I
hard to
personally
say.
don't think it's necessarily wrong that they make it to where they charge money in a beta game. This is to a point you made earlier. I just think that they haven't done a good job. Personally, I just think that their beta win or for purchases is just not ideal. If it was, I wouldn't have a problem that it was in beta, because I'm happy that we're getting to support them game. And if people say that Kafir is greedy, if they were truly greedy in a way that would actually be beneficial for us, if they were greedy in the smartest way, they would resources into a game that has 70 million players, and I'm basically hoping that they still are doing this, that they're thinking, no, I'm going to put this money and we're going to create the best game out there. And because I think that Last Day on Earth has the potential, if they do it well.
Yes.
It's Clash of Clans. Someone was getting on to me for comparing Supercell with Kafir, and they may be right in the long run, but I think that what they have created so far has the potential, I think, surpass Clash of Clans. It is, my wife enjoyed playing Last Day on Earth more than she enjoyed playing Clash of Clans, which she played both of them. And she's not a gamer. She is more of the casual type player. So if she liked Last Day on Earth more than Clash of Clans, and if they could create a system that could appeal to people context that is also better than Clash of Clans, or even just the same as Clash of Clans, then have the extreme gamers like us, because I like Last Day on Earth, Clans is the building part of my base, and I think it has more potential. And then my wife, who's a casual gamer, liked it more. I think that they could totally beat Clash of Clans if they can get their stuff together and make it happen. The problem is, it doesn't seem like they've been able to. It's just they've been struggling, and this last couple weeks have been losing faith. I'm still hoping that they'll bring me back around, but it's been a rough couple weeks.
It's basically about these walls, like maybe it's off the topic, but when they implemented these level 3 walls, and where you need like now 15 oak, now you need 10 because they changed, but whatever. Like when it costed like 15 oak, and they said like, oh, don't worry, we're doing that because we have an like crazy idea and everything will make sense to you when we will release this idea. And till this day, we don't know why they like changed the recipe of level 3 walls. So they should have maybe showed us at least why they did this, and they still don't tell us why. And like, yeah, just what I wanted to say, and I didn't have time to say this because I always forgot. It's like, it's still a beta game. I don't understand why they try to hide a lot of stuff like so much. Like, it's a fully released game, then I understand, like, developers try to tease people, you know, because like the update is gonna come out, so that's fine to tease them. It's fine to show a little bit of sneak peeks, but not too much. But it's a beta game, so you want to get as many people as here, and you want to keep as many people in the game, and they just show like whatever little sneak peek, and they just don't show enough of these sneak peeks. They should show way more stuff and not be like too much scared about, oh, we're gonna show too much, we're gonna show them what's gonna happen in the game. But like, even like these developers, they don't know what's gonna be in the game, so at least tell us what's happening in your head. Like, why did you upgrade, like why did you have to change those level 3 walls cost? Like, what's the reasoning behind that? A lot of people are still upset about this. They see that people are upset and they don't even talk about that. And well, just at least tell us what's happening in your head. Like, why did you change dust? Like, what's gonna change? Like, like, will I quit the game because you're gonna tell me the reason why you changed the level 3 walls? And if that's the reason, then maybe you should consider your idea changing it back. It's like, it's crazy.
Yeah, because I was one of those. I got on board. I told all my subscribers, like, guys, they know what they're doing. Like, they're gonna do it. And I may have been right back then, but I was like really telling people, like, guys, they have a good idea. This is a good thing. And I thought it was because of multiplayer, that we were going to be able to, 20 people building a base versus,
Yeah, I have watched that video.
one. I was thinking, oh, this is gonna be great. But then when they did this whole pay to win thing where it's like $100, I'm like, you got a team of 20 people, you get an all metal base, and instantly, like, you just get a few pay to winners on your team and your clan base is now fully metal and ridiculous, and so I'm like, all of a sudden I'm like, oh, well, obviously maybe they didn't have a great plan, because they're making pay to win, making it so easy to buy metal level 4 walls. Either whoever did that, I'm baffled. I'm still baffled by their change of making it to where you can spend so little money for so many level 4 walls. It just, I don't understand it.
Like, yeah, I agree that like with the game they should earn, sorry Storm, like they should earn stuff from the game. But like, when you don't put enough content in the game and you just release, like, basically 1.72 update was just a shop revamp or whatever it is. Like, they added a lot of stuff where you can speed up for the coins, like these raiders, you can speed up for the coins, like all these metal whatever walls. So 1.72 update was just update for the to change the shop. But like, was it really like that necessary to release the shop update before you add something in the game? Like, all they did in that 1.72 update is just like millions and millions of bugs, like a lot of lost accounts, and like this quest to be able to raid the base, and a lot of ways to get more money for Kefir. Like, that's why I don't like this update, because they released a really shitty update. It was totally broken. They just rushed it in because I'm pretty sure they knew that they're gonna get a lot of money because of that level 4 walls. Like, I'm pretty sure those who spend money in the game, they are gonna count and they're gonna realize that it's a really great deal. So they knew, like, whatever, we have to push it in as soon as possible. So that's why they released like this update as quick as possible. And it was broken, totally broken, just because of the sake of just trying to get as much money as possible. That's why I don't like their mindset of Kefir.
Yeah.
So yeah, with what Furza said about him telling everyone that this game's really big and that this game is really great and it's got the potential to be the best game out there, it was the exact same situation for me, where I pretty much dumped what I was doing. I was doing Clash of Clans and Clash Royale. I stopped that and I started doing Last Day on Earth because the game was truly amazing. I was blown away by it. And the game was truly an innovation on mobile. And I told everyone, you guys should try this game out. And I recommended it to as many people as I could. And so many people started playing the game because of that. And the game has grown so large overall. But almost all the people who I got to start playing the game have already stopped at this point. And most other people, I would definitely assume, have done the same thing if they've been playing that long. And the thing is, normally when someone stops playing a game, they forget about it, and then they just don't come back to it. And that's a big problem. When you want to develop a game, you want to make sure people stay. and that people are going to stick with that game, and then grow the game from that point on, and not slow it down. Like, no matter what, you don't want to slow down. And I'd say the best stuff, the best communication they ever did was the 2 dev streams, because they showed so much stuff that they had been working on in just those dev streams, that there was so much to speculate on, and it built hype for future updates, because we could see what they were doing, and we knew what was coming. But they hardly do that. And they did say that they don't want to do it too often because the dev team is shy, and that is understandable. And then they said that maybe we'll do it once a month or whatever. But they've done it twice in 7 months, and it's not enough. It's not enough, and it leads straight back to lack of communication.
Yeah.
And just overall, they need to try harder on the communication part, because they have hired people who speak English, and there's no reason for them to not communicate as well as they should be.
Yeah, and it's again a little off the topic, but and the way they choose these Q&As, the answer, like the questions, it's so crazy. Like, some of these questions are just like, I apologize, but they're like kind of retarded. Like, somebody's asking like, oh, will you implement ability to have a female and then make a baby and have a family in the game? Like, seriously, from all these questions that people ask, you have to pick these questions and answer that. And I don't mean only this particular, but there's so many questions that they choose to answer, because basically, like, Q&A is limited. There's only 10 questions that they can answer, because they limited themselves, but whatever, there's only 10 questions. And from 10 questions, they choose like only 1 or 2 good questions that they can tease us. And from the rest of the questions, they basically or answer previous questions where they say, we already answered that, blah, 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 blah. Then why the hell you answer it again for like those 3 people who didn't read the previous Q&A? It's like they just either re-answer previous questions or like answer some dumb questions that even don't need to be asked and answered. So they try to show us stuff with these Q&As, but they're like broken. Q&A is totally broken. That's my 2 cents. Yo.
Oh snap, accidentally closed my live stream.
Oh my god.
Oh no.
I don't think I turned it off. Yeah, I'm just gonna pull it back up. Lost the chat and everything.
Oh.
Yeah,
but like basically all the biggest problem that is the lack of communication, because they don't communicate with us enough. They just can show a lot of stuff what they're thinking. That like if you show us idea, then well, that's fine, but at least like have dignity to go and show us again that, oh, we failed, like we're not gonna add us in the game. And I'm pretty sure most of the people are gonna understand that, oh, it's reasonable, they wanted to add us, well, they're not gonna add this, that's fine. At least we will stop thinking about like that beer or that fishing rod or whatever they added in the game. It's like, at least if you tell us you're gonna add it soon, then tell us that you're not gonna add it, or you're thinking about not adding it again. At least show us your thoughts and what's happening in the game. And again, it's all lack of communication.
Well, I got another question that was asked, and that's whether or not we're all 3 on. I mean, I'm only on mobile. Are you guys all on mobile phones?
I am.
I played less than Earth on mobile phone. A lot.
They were asking whether or not we are going to the computer ever. And so I guess it's a fan of multiple of our YouTube channels, and they're asking whether or not move to mobile or move to computer ever, if we're going to consider that. So what are y'all's thoughts?
From mobile to computer?
Yeah.
I always prefer mobile overall, because it's far more accessible. It's so much more easy to play the game on the go. You don't have to have your PC with you. Mobile has always had that advantage over other platforms, and that's why I love mobile gaming. It's so easy to do it. You can go wherever you want with friends, and if you've got multiplayer games on mobile, you can play with your friends no matter where you are. And that's such a big advantage with mobile gaming over PC gaming. You can actually go out instead of just staying in one spot, and generally being a little bit less social overall. And that's why I always prefer mobile for most games that are more simple, other than PC games. And that's why this game is best as a mobile game, and I haven't really liked the idea of the devs wanting to put it on Xbox as well, or on PS4 or whatever, is because it's really not necessary. It's perfect on mobile. And as long as it can play well on mobile for almost all devices, that's all that really matters, because there's so many people that want to play it on mobile. I mean, look how many people have already downloaded the game, and that's just on mobile. Sure, some people do play it on PC because maybe it performs better there, or it's just easier according to how they prefer to play. But mobile is definitely better, in my opinion, overall. And that's, yeah, that's
Yeah.
mine.
Yeah, I agree. I think that if Kafir moves, one of the things that makes or what allows it, I think what will allow it to become the next, if it has a chance of getting there, will be if it stays only on the phone. Sorry, someone just blowing up my ears. I forgot to turn the volume down. Thank you for whoever donated that. I'll be able to see it in just a second. But yeah, I turned up y'all's volume, but it's also the same volume anyways. I think that if if people really like a game, they say, oh, well, more extreme PC people are going to want it to be in a PC or in an Xbox, because that's where I can play longer hours, more time with it. But the problem with that is then you limit relatability of people talking about it. When someone comes to someone and say, hey, do you play Last Day on Earth? And they say, yeah, I do. Then it's like, oh, well, let me get your thing, let me add you here, or let me talk to you here. And they're like, oh, I play it on the Xbox. It's like, oh, downer. Now I'm not gonna be as prone to ask the next person if I'm going to ask them or invite them or do this thing with them, because they might be on Xbox and I might be on the phone. Whereas if everyone's on mobile, even though you're not going to be able to produce as good of a game, because yes, a PC has more capabilities, it can just do a better job of creating a game, but then you're gonna have this competition of people choosing it on these different things. So actually keeping it dumbed down on one device is what's going to allow them to make it the most relatable game, to where everyone has a base. I could just see people being like, hey, let me see your base. Oh, that's an interesting design. There's even more diversity. That's what we do in Clash of Clans. I'd be like, hey, I had a base that no one else had, and so I would love to show you. People would be like, wait, I want to see your base, and they'd be like, oh, does that really work? And but in Last Day on Earth, there would be an infinite more possibilities. Every base would look different, and so that type of, oh, I like your base, these different things would just create game really explode. But if they move to PC or even the Xbox and PC or PS4, I just think that they're going to lose a lot of they're going to make some people happy, but I think it would be a bad move for them, especially because they're going to have to put all the extra resources in making that happen.
Yeah.
Yes, that's a very good point.
Yeah, like in some things I agree, but there are some parts where I can disagree, because most of the time I play this game on computer now. I started off playing it on the phone, and there's a big reason why I stopped playing it on the phone, just because I can't just stay on the phone and, for example, play a game for an hour or two, and that's what I usually do with Last Day on Earth. I get inside and I can play, because I can't just jump quickly in the game, do something for 5-10 minutes and just log out. And that's what the problem I had with Last Day on Earth, not being able to give me stuff what I can do on the phone, because usually with these mobile games, I usually play them at work, for example, on a break. I have a break 20 minutes, I just want to jump in the game and play it. With Last Day on Earth, I don't have that possibility, because firstly, it's gonna load for 2-3 minutes. I don't know why the loading time takes so long. They should fix this. It's gonna load, and until it's gonna load, I'm gonna get bored already, and then I get inside of my base, and there's not really too much to do except to go in the forest and start grinding. I grind and that's it. And plus, I can't do that quickly where I don't really have to look at the screen. So that's why I moved it from the phone to PC, because I don't have really that much what to do on the phone, because usually I play this game only on the phone when I have like short amount of time. I'm not saying that everybody's like me, but like a lot of people, for example, why they play Clash Royale, because whenever they have like free 5-10 minutes, they're just gonna jump quickly in Clash Royale.
Yep.
And they're gonna play it, and whatever they do a battle, they close it. With Last Day on Earth, you can't do that because they didn't implement anything in the game where you can just open it super quickly, you play it like for 5 minutes and you close the game. Like they did say that they're gonna add, they're gonna make fishing super fun, so that's where I have my hopes up that I'm gonna get back Last Day on Earth on my phone, where, for example, I'll be able just to log in the game and, like, for example, do fishing, where you don't really have to grind too much, where you're just really having fun, you know? That's why what I'm saying. And if they do the game for, like, more platforms, for, like, Xbox, PC, and whatever, they have to sync all these accounts that everybody's playing at the same game, and they have to fix their syncing stuff, because like this game's supposed to be multiplayer, but a lot of people losing their accounts. It's just ridiculous how the hell this game can be multiplayer if this game is connected to internet and so many people are losing their accounts. Like on day-to-day basis, you can go on Facebook and just read like, oh, I lost my account, blah blah blah, I have level 1 account. Like, what the hell? Like, this is supposed to be multiplayer games, and they can't even do the simple thing of people not losing their accounts. So if they make, like, for example, Xbox accounts, PC accounts, all the same, for example, you play on PC and then you jump back to your phone and it's the same progress, then it can be fun, because there's a lot of people who would like to play Last Day on Earth for a couple of hours. And for example, when I'm at home, I would prefer maybe just to play this game on an Xbox or on a PC than stay like 2 hours or 3 hours with a charger, and when my phone is super hot with hot battery. It's like, I do still agree that the game has to be mobile and everything has to be more focused on mobile, but when you do like these longer play sessions, when you want to play like for 2-3 hours, it would be easier to play it on PC than on the mobile phone. But they just have to make it really good so that all the accounts are synced, otherwise it's just gonna be a fail, just like you said.
If they can make it to where the accounts sync and they can make it to where there's not an advantage to those playing on the computer, then yeah, I agree. I think that, I don't know if that's possible, but if it is, that but again, I think that they should focus more on finishing the game before going there.
Yeah, that's the fact. Like, they can't go like just like somebody of you said, I don't remember who, so sorry, like, they will put extra resources to develop this game on computer where it's not even developed on the phone. It's like, this game is on the edge of destructing itself, and they're trying to push it into more platforms. Like, seriously, they should just think about releasing a full game on the phone, and then they should think about releasing to more platforms. Then
releasing it on other releasing it on other platforms is a very hard task for most developers out there, because I believe it's also a different coding languages that they have to do for the different platforms, and they need like with iOS and Google Play, they have to they can't release the updates at the same time, which means that it will almost be impossible for players on Android to be able to play with people on iOS, and it would be the same for other platforms. And that's why crossplay is a very hard thing to attain for most games out there. And those that do have it, those devs have gone through a lot of work to get them out. And I can currently only really think of Minecraft at the moment. That game got crossplay, and only recently. So crossplay, being able to play with people on other platforms, is not something that I think will ever be possible for this game, considering its development. And with what JCF said, it's best that they stick to mobile. And if they do put it on other platforms, it will be demotivating for some people who have friends who play on other platforms, because then they want to play with their friends, but they can't. If you limit it to one device, then everyone has to play on that type of device. And they're already splitting the player base with iOS and Android, but it's not too much of a problem, because I'm sure there's a much larger player base on Android. But that's just what I wanted to say about that. There's someone in my chat here called Game Survival who asks how long do I think the game's going to last if it continues how it's currently going. And all inconveniences considered, all the problems that the developers are having, and all the new issues that come with losing accounts and losing data, losing progress, and all the other inconveniences considered, I don't think it's going to last that much longer if they don't change what they're doing, because they really have to. They have to. Otherwise, this game's going to last maybe 2-3 more months, and then 99% of the player base will have stopped. And
Well, with that, I'll say that there's going to be a delay, right? Because there's going to be, I don't know exactly how Google Play works. The people have been joining and when someone joins, that first month is the best month ever. Maybe even the first 2 months. It depends on how fast you play. And it's a little bit less because level 3 walls have become so difficult that it's actually less than it was. Like in my opinion, they've gone backwards. It has less enjoyable play time now because of level 3 walls. But there is still at least a month in there that people are going to work on their base and build this. They'll be enjoying that. And so there's going to be a delay. And I know how YouTube works now, which I didn't 6 months ago. And if Google has the same type of coding, what's going to happen is when a lot of us start dropping off of the game, Google's going to stop promoting the game as much. And so Kafir is going to then have to either promote it themselves. But even with 70 million players playing, that's still foot in the door when you think about the gamer population.
They don't have 75 million players playing right now. They would have 75 million downloads, but the active player base would probably be anywhere between 40,000 and 100,000 players a day, maybe more, but that would be the daily amount that I would say the game has. And obviously it's a big gap. It's a big gap, but well, if you consider most popular games out there, I think the most popular game on Steam right now is Dota 2, and PUBG being second. The gaps between those two games, Dota gets around 300,000 active players daily, and PUBG gets about 100,000 plus daily. So Lost on Earth definitely is not in that league at all. So the player base is not 75 million without doubt, but they've managed to get that many downloads, and I'd say probably about 70 million of those accounts are no longer active right now, but about 5 million of that, they still play every now and then, like maybe 3 or 4 times a week, or some even only playing a few times a month. But those accounts, those players, they still need to account for those players, and they need to give them reason to continue playing, and they need to communicate.
Yeah. So I just don't know how many are new versus how many are within that first month. Those of the people that are currently playing, because I don't think they're going to drop off when the main player base drops off. I think that
there's always new players, and whenever there's new players coming to the game, they generally stick for a while, because they don't know the past of the game. There's generally more content when newer players join, and they tend to be hooked more. But the only thing that's making newer players join is the success of the game, or the ads that the devs are running on different platforms. But the game may still be growing very quickly, but at the same time, most of those players end up stopping. And most of the players that have started from the beginning have also stopped. And they can't continue that trend for too much longer because there's not that many gamers in the world. Like 75 million is already, it's amazing that they got that number. And
Yeah.
it took me by surprise when I saw that. I was like, no ways. They really must have promoted it. But then I saw that they actually got China to play the game, so they did well there.
That did help.
But the thing is, most players are stopping because the game's being a bit inconsistent. It needs to keep building upon itself without major failures and at like a reasonable pace.
Yeah.
And people need to know what's coming.
Yes.
Like sure, don't like spoil big things, or don't say, oh, this big thing's coming. You can keep surprises, because surprises are generally what work best, and keep people engaged, because they want to know what surprises will be next. But when they hardly do anything at all, and then they just end up making mistakes at the same time, that is not going to work.
Yep, I agree. Yeah. I think that it sounds like a theme throughout this whole podcast has been a lack of communication from Kafir, a lack of good communication. And so I think that is, if Kafir does watch this, hopefully they will take that from this, is just communicating. We can cry with them if things didn't go their way. Great, tell us about it. We can at least know, oh, things didn't go that way. Thanks for telling us. We can now expect that. So
yeah.
Yep.
Well, I better get going. It's 4 p.m. here, and my kids are about to wake up, so I better get going.
Yeah, sure, no problem. Cyrek, do you have anything else you want to talk about?
I don't know. I just had like one question, like how updates. It's like off the last another topic, but do you know how updates on Clash Royale come out? Do they come out at the same day on Clash Royale for iOS and Android, or no?
Yes, they do.
At the same day.
Yeah.
Yep.
So that's possible to do
games.
for Kefir as well, but for some reason they choose to do the crappy thing.
Yes, most games, most published games, I think Kafir's thought process is that I worked with a developer with a different game. This is before I did YouTube, and he would explain that he would, even back then, this is like 2 years ago, he was like, yeah, I always have to upload my Android or the iOS a couple days before I do the Android one. And so for whatever reason, and I'm imagining it's just because it's in beta, they're thinking, let's work out some of the kinks, users, and then that way the iOS users will have a better update where we fix some of the problems by the time it gets to them, which has happened a few times. But it is very weird that they have chosen to do that on a consistent level for so long.
Yeah.
And
well, I think we covered most of the topics that should have been spoken about. And if you want to go further, it's been great chatting with you. And good luck with your channel. I see you're growing quite nicely. So keep that up.
Thanks. I appreciate it, guys. Thanks for setting all this up, guys. And I really appreciate being here.
Yeah.
Alrighty.
Take care, man.
Cheers, man. Alrighty. So, I personally don't have much else to talk about. And the smaller things I'd probably just put into like a little rant video where I'm pretty much, I need to make a video stating my current situation in Last Day on Earth and why I'm stopping. So that'll come sometime this week when I can get it out, because I'm going to be very busy starting from now. But that'll come out when it comes, so you guys can expect that this week. That's all I really have to say about that. And Cyrek, do you have anything else you want to say?
Like just something like just think about when the game came out, and now like in 7 months of game developing, what did they actually add in the game? When you just think about it, it's still the same. Most of the stuff in the game
it still feels the same. It does have a lot of differentiation, and they have changed many things overall. But
the concept is like still almost the same. They didn't add something game breaking until the Raiders. Like the Raiders update was something like game changing, game breaking, because before nobody could raid our base, and now they can raid our base, and that's it. And even here, like, they could have improved it, but that thing should have been way before, and that's the only thing that they released in 7 months that's something game breaking. I mean, these bunker floors and everything is just like to keep us engaged and have something to do, just to not chop down these pine trees all the time. But other than that, it's still the same, nothing super game breaking until the Raiders update.
Yeah, just before the Raiders came out, it was basically the exact same experience as it was like 6-7 months ago. And I'd even dare say that the experience is even worse than it was back then, because if I started playing the game a month ago, I definitely would not have been as hooked as I was when I started playing it all the time back there, because the game felt harder, it felt more challenging, and it felt like it had more potential because it was newer. It wasn't as old then.
I'm now imagining, for example,
that's what made me want to play.
Yeah, for example, now I'm imagining if I didn't know about Last Day on Earth, and I just got in the Last Day on Earth, like, let's say a couple of days ago, and with all that raiding stuff, it would be more fun. But just those level 3 walls discourage you from playing the game, because when I started out the game, I started upgrading the walls. I'm like, oh, level 3 walls are pretty, like, reasonable. You can upgrade them, so that's fine. But what they pushed here is like what Clash of Clans is doing, which they shouldn't even try to do. Like, here, what they try to do, like, you have to upgrade one wall where you have to grind, like, for whatever days. Like, in this game, it doesn't work like that. Plus, when your walls can be destroyed. In Clash of Clans, you build a wall and it's permanent. Here, you build a wall and it can be destroyed, and it's way more effort to get that wall. In Clash of Clans,
that's
like,
the biggest problem with the walls.
Like, I don't know why I compared to Clash of Clans, like, but whatever, like, because it's like, why not? It's in Clash of Clans, you get inside of the game, you attack somebody's base, you get these resources, and that's it. You don't have to keep grinding like here. Here, for that one wall, you literally have to spend like hours and hours of constant gameplay without having your eyes off the screen, because a VSS guy can spawn and just shoot you. So you seriously have to grind for 1 hour of hard work just to get for that one wall, and really have to get there so many walls to just protect your base, and it's totally wrong way of how they're doing that. And if they still have the idea of how to make these level 3 walls reasonable, because they said like, oh, we have a good reason why these level 3 walls are now expensive, then show us the damn reason, because it's really discouraging new players. Because if I started the game, for example, right now, and I saw the price of like level 3 walls, I probably wouldn't even try to play the game, because it was fun for me. Like, in my head, behind my head and thought process, I was like, whatever, I can build these level 3 walls whenever I want, just a couple of hours of super hard grinding, and I can like protect some of my part of the base. That was fun. And here, like, level 2 walls can be destructed by zombie horde, level 1 walls can be destructed by zombie horde, so there's no point of level 3 walls. And this game is so limited in of how much you can do here, because even if they added like just because now logically you can't build level 3 walls and you can't build level 4 walls because of how expensive they are. You gotta grind really a lot for them. So most of the stuff is in the game, like some of the parts in the game are expensive, so you can't get them. So in really even more narrows of what can you do in this game. And for those who don't have the chopper, even stay quiet about for those who don't have the chopper, because it's just basically I don't know, it's just torture, suffer. I don't understand how can you play the game without the chopper, because it's just crazy. There's totally nothing to do. So yeah, they should fix that.
Yeah, there's a lot less to do without the chopper overall. And yeah, the developers have been... It's been a bit of a trend with each update that they do, that the updates either make the game worse or it's just disappointing, and then that exact update needs to be changed in a future update, taking more dev time and further delaying the development of the game. And it's just overall the developers need to change their
mindset,
their everything pretty much. So
Which is like,
yeah.
there's only two ways how this game is gonna go. It's either they knew it's gonna be like this. I mean, they before that, Kefir was developing games like, you know, there are games for Facebook where these flash games, and they had these flash games for their Vkontakte, the Russian social networking site. And plus, maybe there was one game for an Android as well, but it wasn't as that successful. It has like 500,000 downloads now, and I'm pretty sure most of these downloads it got when Last on Earth got popular. So when this game got this much popular, of course they started thinking more like business. How much more money can we make from that? And I understand that, but if this is the way of how the game is just going, they're just gonna stretch this game for whatever time they want just to cash in, which is looks like what they're trying to do, because I don't see any other logic reason. 7 months to do so little progress what it did in the game is just crazy. The only explanation here there is that they're trying to just clickbait the game. Basically, they're not even trying to release the full game. They're just trying to get more money from the game, or they're just actually working super hard on this game and something super crazy is gonna come out very soon. Because if it doesn't, then it's just super clickbaity game just for the money. I don't see any other option of how can this game go any other way.
Yeah.
It's either super clickbaity or it's gonna be super great.
Yes. We'll just have to wait and see, but
Yeah.
for now, I personally, it's been a long journey for me, and I can't keep it up when I'm not like excited to play the game. You know, it feels like a job instead of feeling like an enjoyable experience.
Yeah.
I can't think of all the words at the same time, but when I play a game on this channel, I want you guys to play as well. And of course, Last on Earth is still a great experience if you haven't played it yet, but it's disappointing after you play it for a while, and especially with its progression and the way that the devs are adding things to the game, it's not good enough, and that's why I can't keep playing it. I can't keep covering the game every single day or every single week, because it's just draining me from any little bit of excitement I have left for the game. So maybe I saw someone ask a question if I'll come back when multiplayer comes, and yes, maybe if multiplayer lives up to its expectations and it's good enough, or even when co-op comes, if that comes first, I might come back and play it again. But I want to move on to other games that have similar potential, if not more, than Last Day on Earth, because Last Day on Earth I have covered for a long time now, just as I have covered other games before, and I want to move on. I can't just keep doing the same thing over and over again, because, as I said earlier, it will just feel like a job instead of feeling like a hobby. And I want it to be fun. I want everyone to have fun, and that's what life should be. It shouldn't just be a drag. So that's why I want to move on. And
there was a part in my life where I
can come back, but
like there was a part in my life where I stopped playing Last Day on Earth for like 2 months, just because it already got boring. But then after like a month, maybe not 2 months, but after a month, I wanted to get back into the game. And again, I was really hyped to play the game, because I made like 80 episodes, 80 streams of Last Day on Earth, and that's a lot, and people don't understand how many streams is that, love. And these streams are not like 50 minutes, they're like 2-3 hour streams where I just seriously just grind this Last Day on Earth. And people keep asking more and more Last Day on Earth, but I'm like, I already covered most of the stuff. I'm not really that much hyped, and the only reason I kept playing it because it was the most successful game on my channel. I've never had that much success before. I've been doing YouTube for 4 years, and before Last Day on Earth, like I had like 300 subscribers. Now my channel like blew off with Last Day on Earth. I got real actual people, which I'm really grateful for, like coming to Last Day on Earth streams and watching them, because it's like, it's been a blast. I've been doing it for 4 years, and I didn't have a single person, like a single reaction to the game. And here when I started live streaming, people started like actually saying something to me, and I was like, wow, that's cool. And you actually start to develop as a YouTuber, as a you got the point, because you start developing as a YouTuber, and you know what you're doing good, what you're doing bad. You can actually gain experience, whilst when I was doing like YouTube alone without no response, I couldn't develop. And here I'm really grateful for that, but I fell into that trap where I started playing too much of that Last Day on Earth just to get more people in the channel, just because it's the only game that people want me to play, so I am gonna be stopping, like, I'm gonna be reducing quantity of Last Day on Earth videos, because it's really hard to go and find something in Last Day on Earth now to do. I did most of the things. Like, I don't want to go there and chop down some trees. I don't want to go and mop up the bunker for the 100th time. I already did that. I can do it, whatever. So I will be trying new games, and I will be playing it when they're gonna release a new update or when I feel like it. So, yeah.
Yes. So basically, once you hit the end game in this game, to do, because the updates and the new content that come they're not enough to keep you playing every day, or maybe even every week, because if you hit the end game, sure, you can wait a little while and then a new update comes out and then you can hit the end game again, but it's not fulfilling enough. The game just feels very, very incomplete. And I saw in the chat over here, when I looked up, I saw Kefir Games, or Kefir Games, they said we're watching, and at first I was like, wait, what? So I checked the channel, but I saw they only had 8 subs, so counts.
Yeah,
but, at first I was about to interrupt you, and I was about to say, hey, they're actually watching, and I would have said they should watch the whole stream and not just this part. But I hope they do watch the stream, because they really need to pay attention to these problems overall. And I don't really have anything else to talk about this stream. And we actually made it pretty far. We spoke for an hour and 45 minutes with
I believe that
gameplay.
And I believe that even now we could just speak more if we just find out more subjects. But yeah, it was just fun.
Yeah.
Fun,
so
cool
yeah, I'm personally going to end the stream here.
Me too.
I hope you guys enjoyed it, and yeah, it was quite fun. Spoke about a lot of things here, and I hope I've made some points clear. I hope you guys also maybe even discovered a few things that you haven't yet known or haven't yet thought about.
Yeah.
And
before you leave, I wanted to say that it might sound weird, but this is I had fun playing Last Day on Earth right now that I haven't had so much fun in a while playing Last Day on Earth as I had today. Just speaking about Last Day on Earth and looking at my base there in map, it's so great. And I had fun talking about that, so I'm so great, because I hadn't enough fun playing Last Day on Earth for like so many days now. But yeah, thanks man for joining here.
All right, thanks man.
Yep, see you.
I'll talk to you again sometime. All right, so I'm going to be ending the stream here, guys. It was a great stream, and if you guys haven't seen the whole thing, I recommend you guys check it out. It'll be available on the channel in about 10 minutes or so. So I'll see you guys then. I won't really see you guys then. You guys will see the rest of the stream, but I'm going to be wrapping up now, and I'll probably see you guys again tomorrow. There's a small chance I might not upload anything tomorrow if I get too busy, but I'm going to try do daily uploads for the rest of the month. But it won't be Last Day on Earth. It'll be Warframe. But you guys, as I've said many times this stream, I will still be doing one more video for Last Day on Earth, covering the reasons why I'm stopping, and it might even be quite a fun video depending on what ideas I get for it. But you guys will see it, so be sure to look out for that video when it comes out this week. So thanks so much for watching, everyone. I'll catch you guys again next time. Oh wait, one last thing. Brian over here is saying no more Vainglory. Sorry, I forgot about that. Vainglory is getting its 5v5 update at the very end of the month. So that's why I said Warframe until the end of the month. I'm just waiting for that update. So yes, sorry I forgot to talk about that. I don't think I've even communicated that, but I'm waiting for 5v5, and then I'm going to cover that as well.
So, and now the same fake account of Kefir came to the channel we're watching. But yeah, take care, man.
All right, cheers guys, and cheers Cairek.
Yeah, take care.
I'm gonna head off now. Cheers guys.
So yo, people are gone now. It's me alone and just you guys. So yeah, I am gonna be wrapping up the stream as well. So thanks for everybody who came here to the stream. It was so great just talking to these guys. They're so chill, so cool. That just super great. That's all I have to say. Thanks guys for joining here. Thanks for watching the video. Sorry if I did not read the chat like I usually do, but there's not really... It wasn't really the purpose of reading the chat. I usually read the chat in other games when I play, so... I hope you had fun, guys. Once again, thanks to those guys who joined here. Without them... Thank you, August, for the sub. Without them, it wouldn't be possible. I wouldn't be able to talk alone. I wouldn't be able to talk alone to myself and just hear what they said, because they really said lots of interesting stuff. So yeah, that was just cool. There's nothing else I can say, guys. See you tomorrow. Probably tomorrow I'm gonna be live streaming. What I'll try to do maybe, because like I said, I'm not gonna be stopping playing Last Than Earth. I will still play it once in a while when they're gonna release something new, or when I will feel like playing the game. So maybe tomorrow I'm gonna do 2 streams. In one stream I will try something new, guys. Maybe I'll try to play Last Than Earth and then whatever other game in the same stream, or maybe I'll try to just play 2 different games in the same stream. We're still gonna check out what we're gonna be doing in tomorrow's stream. Plus I hope there's gonna be tomorrow video coming out, Dying Light video. So for those who are waiting for the Dying Light series, I'm pretty sure there are some quite people who like these series, and after that we're going to be searching for more Let's Plays on the channel. So once again, guys, thank you for your support. Thank you for the people who came here and made the stream possible. So take care, guys, now. Good night, because I'm going off to bed to catch some Z's. Yo, see ya. Take care, guys, now. Peace out. Or maybe Rubik's Cube. How we're gonna end the stream without the legendary flipping Rubik's Cube, guys? I have to do it. I have to solve the Rubik's Cube, guys. We're gonna be doing it. We're gonna be doing it. Am I right, guys? Those who want the Rubik's Cube, write plus in the chat. Or those who think it sucks, well, you're gonna get the full screen Rubik's Cube. The full screen Rubik's Cube. Boom, boom. We can't forget it, guys. The memes never die. Memes do not die, whatever. If I'm gonna forget how to solve it, it's gonna be super bad. We can even beatbox. The guy beatboxes by solving Rubik's Cube. It's so weird because when there's like these 2 guys on the stream, I can't really like talk that loud. I can't really express myself because we have to listen to each other, and that's totally fine. That's what I like. But I do like to scream, guys. You know how obnoxious and annoying I am. So let's just scream, boys. Oh, let's just be me, the trainer. Let's actually try to beatbox while we're trying to solve the Rubik's Cube. Something new on the channel. HappyCairek beatboxing and acting like an idiot, because throughout all the stream I didn't act too much like an idiot, and I feel that's what I was lacking, guys. So let's just beatbox. Well, whatever. I'm not gonna be beatboxing, guys. This was a great stream. Thank you, Papa No Show. What happened? I only see map all stream. That was on purpose, guys. A map was there on purpose. I thought I'm gonna be showing some stuff, but it was just fun talking. I hope you enjoyed the stream. Now let's solve the flip Rubik's Cube. Just what we do in every stream. It's just meme. We gotta continue. We gotta keep going with the meme. I mean, memes never die. Maybe it's just a bad thing to do, because after all, it's a podcast with other people. But I want to do my meme. I want to do my meme. I feel no pressure. I feel like people can't hear me. That feels bad, because it's really weird. I've been doing lots of these streams, and when there are other people on Discord talking to me, and when there are other people live streaming, I feel like, wow, whatever I say, other people can hear. So like those guys who stay here, I don't feel any discomfort, but I feel more discomfort when I say something, because other people outside of this stream can hear me. So that's kind of something weird thing to say, but whatever. Let's keep solving the flip and Rubik's Cube if I still remember how. And no beatbox. So some quality. Nice beatbox. Whatever. Let's just stop and get way too crazy. Just got way too crazy. I should have solved the Rubik's Cube long ago. I just keep pushing it. Boop de boop de boop de boop. Boop de boop de boop de boop. Almost done, guys. Just couple of spin arounds. Boop de boop de boop de boop. Boop de boop de boop de boop. Bada boom. Bada beam. The Rubik's Cube is solved. You are a genius at this cube. I'm the master cube. I should maybe even change my channel name. Not like HappyCairek, but the Cairek Cube Genius. I don't even know what. Nice. The Rubik's Cube is done, guys. This is some professional, nice ass work. So once again, guys, thank you for joining the stream. You are the best. See you tomorrow. Thanks once again for JCF and Storm for joining the stream. If you don't know their channels, which I totally doubt, but if you do not know, links are in the description. Feel free to check them out. Really cool, nice people. I like people. and they're very nice people. So yeah, HappyCairek in the house. Yeah, guys, I'm in the house. So yeah, take care, guys, now, and see you tomorrow with the stream, with the video, and Discord. Of course, we're gonna chat on Discord, more bullshit memes, whatever. Take care, guys, now. Peace out. Good night. Bada boom, bada beam.